Magkakaroon ng masamang epekto yung Dengvaxia.
But I am very, very, very sorry.
Time to know the news of the week. I'm Ria Fernandez, and this is the MB Rundown. President Duterte reiterates his commitment to stop ENDO as he signed the executive order banning contractualization during the Labor Day celebration. More in this report.
President Duterte signed an executive order against contractualization. In his speech during the Labor Day celebration in Cebu City, Mr. Duterte hoped that with the new EO, there could be an impact on the complaint on non-security of tenure. Section 2 of the EO, as read by the President, prohibits illegal contracting and subcontracting.
I assure you that this government will never cease in its effort to provide every Filipino worker with full, dignified, and meaningful employment.
But some labor groups insist that direct hiring should be the norm instead. Mr. Duterte knew that the EO was not enough, urging the Congress to pass the bill that would assure workers' right to job security. He is yet to certify the said bill as urgent. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate from January to March 2018 rose. From 15.7% in December 2017 and 22.9% of March last year, the rate of jobless Filipinos is now at 23.9%, or about 11 million according to the recent survey of Social Weather Stations, or SWS. This is the highest since the 25.1% in December 2016. SWS said the unemployed Filipinos were those who resigned from their previous jobs, those who lost their jobs, and those seeking jobs for the first time. The palace remains optimistic with the promise of the government's Build, Build, Build program to generate more jobs for Filipinos. This is Marela Gaspar for the MB Rundown.
Meanwhile, President Duterte declared May 14 elections as a special non-working holiday. This is to give way to the upcoming village and youth polls. Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, has implemented other prohibitions as the campaign period officially began today, lasting until May 12. All eyes were on North and South Korea as their leaders Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in met at the border village last week, signaling a possible peace treaty and denuclearization of North Korea. Professor De Castro, what do you think about the recent historic meeting of the two Koreas? Did you see clear signs of sincerity on the part of the leaders, specifically to Kim Jong-un?
First, I was surprised this would happen at this moment. Initially, there were indications that there was a thawing in their relationship, as shown by the fact that they sent a single team, a joint team, during the Winter Olympics. What basically happened during the weekends really surprised me. Now, in terms of sincerity, both leaders might be sincere about what they're doing, but you have to take into account their context. How would their advisors, their governments, the military of both countries would take this into account? Probably they're sincere for unification, but then you have the basic question, on whose terms will this unification happen?
With the historic meeting, we saw different Kim Jong-un. He seems to soften his stance, specifically when he said that they are willing to denuclearize. So what could be the possible reason of his sudden change of tone?
My suspicion is China. Probably China offered North Korea both a carrot and a stick. The stick, if North Korea would proceed with its nuclear arms program, and carrots probably in terms of economic assistance, trade, and investment if North Korea would freeze its nuclear arms program. So I see a very decisive role being played by China. And of course, China did it because it sincerely is also very much afraid of the possibility that the United States might unilaterally attack North Korea.
Will North Korea push through with its commitment to dismantle nuclear?
I think the issue here would be if the price is right. Based on what happened going back in the 1990s, where you have the deal in 1994. This was during the time of President Clinton, and you have this historic agreement. I think it was held in Geneva, wherein North Korea was promised a nuclear power plant if it would shut down its nuclear reactor, offered by the United States, Japan, South Korea, and the United States, but nothing came out with this deal because for both sides the price was simply too high. No, because if North Korea would give up its nuclear arms program, then it would simply will have no more leverage.
We should expect from the upcoming meeting of Trump and Kim Jong-un.
You'll have niceties, a lot of symbolism, but again, whether something substantive would come out is another matter. We have to remember, I think this was in 1999 or 1998. At that time, U.S. Secretary of State Madeleine Albright even went to Pyongyang, where she was warmly welcomed, but later on nothing came out.
In other news, Manila Bulletin photographers won in the 17th One IFRA Asia Awards in Indonesia. June Ryan Arañas bagged the Best News Photography for his photo on Tondo Fire, while Ali Vicoy won the Best Sports Photography Award for his fencer shot during the SEA Games in Malaysia. Congratulations! Facebook is getting into the world of dating. Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg made the announcement at the annual Developers Conference Tuesday with a goal to help build long-term, meaningful romantic relationships. The newest dating feature of the social networking site is optional. Facebook's dating service will roll out later this year. Let's take a quick recap of the MB rundown for today, May 4. President Duterte signs executive order against contractualization, joblessness rate rises. May 14 elections declared as a special non-working holiday. Analyst weighs in on Korea's historic meeting. Manila Bulletin photographers bag awards in Indonesia. And Facebook unveils its newest dating app. And that's the MB Rundown. I'm Ria Fernandez.